hello everyone, ladies and gentlemen. I am really excited, if not obvious on my face, and honored to have you today in our first meeting to launch our club, Talk Space. So I want to make this new tradition or how to say, habit of our club. At the first of the meeting and at the end of the meeting, we will do this together. So I will first start by shouting, talk, and you will reply space.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's try. Talk.
Space!
Talk.
Space!
Wonderful. Okay. So, probably some of you don't know me. I will introduce myself. My name is Kamil Sabah. Right now, I am second year student. And I don't know what I'm going to do 5 years after this. I want to know a little bit about yourself, about you. Anyone here in our audience is a little bit shy or introvert people? You can raise your hand. Okay, we have we have few people. Okay, now put all your hand together, all of them together, and that was me. 3 years ago. I was a really shy person. I was this quiet kid that sits on the corner and doesn't interact with his friends. I remember a story. We had a new girl coming to our town. She was that pretty girl with blue eyes that I really liked, and I wanted to talk with her. I used to see her every week, and every week I would say, okay, this is the week I'm going to talk to her. This is the week I'm going to talk to her. Okay, maybe this is the week I'll talk to her. And then I didn't talk to her for a while, and I got upset about this. So what I did, I went to one of my friends. He is this friend that always go to this room and he have 3 girls here, 3 girls here, and every girl just want to be with him. I went to this guy and told him hey bro, please give me a tip. I have this girl and I want to talk with her. He said, man, it's just easy. Go and tell her this, tell her this, tell her this. I was happy, this is it. This week I'm going to talk with this girl. Next week come, I went to see this girl, and I was standing here and the girl is right there. Okay, Kamil, you can do it. This is the time. You will go, you will talk with her. I went to talk with her and nothing. I didn't talk. I just stand there like a fool. And I was thinking to myself, oh, fantastic, I ruined the day. What is I felt I was doing something wrong. 3 years forward, right now, 3 years forward, I am in Innopolis. It's my first week here. There was this guy telling us about a club called Public Speaking Club. You can come where leaders are made. It sounds like a really cool club. What is this? I don't care about public speaking. I'm a shy person. Why should I be interested to be in a public speaking club? Even the thought of that terrified me. But then I thought, okay, it might be fun. There are free cookies. Why not? I went to that club. There were 4 or 5 people just sitting. It was in the boot camp. And out of nowhere, the host just, hey you, what's your name? My name is Kamil. Okay, give a clap to Kamil. He will give us a speech. I'm what the well, are you for real? And he's okay, we're going to listen to Kamil. And I gave a speech. People listened to me and appreciated what I have to say. That moment, it was a big moment in my life. I thought I can speak and people can listen to me. They can appreciate what I have to say. And after that, every week, I used to go to this public speaking club. And I learned more, and I learned more. I started to give a speech. I wanted to be better. I started giving evaluation for people. I even ended up hosting an event like that. And who thought, when my friends saw a video for me doing a speech, they seen this video and Kamil can talk? They were surprised. Why I'm telling you this story? Some of us think that we are shy. We can't give a speech to people going on stage and people will just sit and be attracted to what we're going to say. But I'm telling you this story to make you believe that if you want to be a public speaker, you can. It's a skill that you can work on and be better. And that is the reason we have this club called Talk Space. Talk Space. So today we're going to have at first a tip. We will have a tip every month that will help us to work on ourselves to be better public speakers. Then we're going to have our prepared speeches by interesting guys sitting with us. And then we will have something called table topics, which everyone will participate if wants to. So about the tip. Today we're going to discuss a tip called bring novelty to your speech. What is this guy talking about? It's really easy. If anybody here watched Game of Thrones, raise your hand. Okay, if I told you I want to tell you the story about Game of Thrones, you tell me like, who cares? I already know. Why should I listen to you? But if Game of Thrones is not ended, and you're waiting for that episode to come, you're just waiting. You just can't imagine the happiness when the new episode comes, and you want to sit on the front of TV and just listen or watch the new episode, because it's give you something new. When some guy is talking to you, or that cute girl you like is telling you a story, and she brings you something new to the topic, something new to inspire you, to make you think. And when you learn something new, if you believe that, your brain will give you dopamine, which means you will enjoy this. And we all know that dopamine is produced by other stuff like drugs or anything like that, which is addictive. So learning new things also can be addictive. So in some manners, when you're speaking and giving people new ideas, you can be addictive. So that's about the tip of the week, of the month, which is bring novelty to your speech. Our second part is our prepared speeches. And I hope you hold your seats tight, because we have very interesting speeches today. And we will kick them off by having a person who doesn't need any introduction. Everyone knows him, Andres. And he's going to tell us a speech about dragons exist. Thank you.
Thank you, man. So, congratulations, first of all, to Camille. It's really great to see this club going. It's quite an achievement, quite an honor to be on this stage. And today I'm going to talk about dragons, and I'm going to convince you that dragons do exist. So, recently I have found out a really interesting and remarkable story, followed by a very deep analysis of it. And when I just saw this analysis along with the story, it's a kid's story. A story written for 4-year-old children. And I thought, wow, it's worth sharing on Instagram. And when you post things on Instagram, you make a picture and then support it with some text. But people don't normally read what's under the picture, so they just like the picture and they never read what's in the bottom. So I got frustrated, and I decided it's worth sharing the story at the Talk Space. So I'm going to tell you a little story, which will take about 5 minutes. The story is written by Jack Kent, and again, it's a kid's story. So stay with me. Billy was rather surprised when he woke up one morning and noticed that there is a dragon in his room. And the dragon waggled its tail happily once Billy tapped it on its head. And Billy was so surprised and so excited, so he ran downstairs to tell his mother. And he was like, Mommy, there is a dragon in my room. But Mommy said, no, such things as dragons, they don't exist. And it's not a good time for jokes. So Billy got upset, he went back to his room. The dragon was still there, and Billy wanted to pat it on its head again, but he thought Mother said dragons don't exist, so it would be silly to pat someone on its head, so he didn't. Billy dressed up, and he went back downstairs, and he went downstairs for a breakfast. And he sat at the table, but the dragon followed him and sat on the table. Usually such things were not permitted at home, but the mother couldn't do anything because dragons don't exist, so it would be silly to tell someone to get off the table. So mother was cooking some pancakes. Most of you had pancakes yesterday, did you? So mother was cooking some delicious pancakes, And Billy was waiting to eat all of them, but the dragon was taking Billy's pancakes. So mother cooked another portion, and dragon ate all pancakes again. So eventually, mother ran out of butter, so she couldn't produce any more pancakes. And dragon ate all the pancakes except of one pancake, which finally got to the Billy's mouth. But Billy said, "I just only need one pancake anyways," so problem sorted. After some time, Billy went upstairs again to brush his teeth, and mother started to clear the table. By that time, dragon grew in size, and it was almost the size of Billy's mother. And when Billy returned, the dragon was almost the size of the room. So Billy had to find a certain way to get around the dragon, to go around the living room, through the corridor, to find out where his mother was. So the dragon grew really fast, and when Billy came from downstairs, he said, "Wow, I didn't expect the dragons to grow so fast." But mother screamed, "Dragons don't exist, stop playing games." So it took the whole morning for Billy's mother to clean the first floor, because the dragon was so big, she had to climb over the windows to get from one room to another. So by midday, the dragon filled the whole house. The dragon's head was out from the front door, dragon's tail sticked out from the back door, and there was literally no room in the house without some part of the dragon. And dragon fell asleep. And when he woke up, he was actually disturbed by some amazing scent from the bakery van, and it smelled really nice with some fresh bakery. So fresh bread was something more than the dragon could resist. So he woke up and ran after the van. The home went too, like the shell of the snail. When Billy's father came for lunch, he couldn't see his house. The house was gone, so there was no house. He came, there was just an empty, flat space. And he started wondering, what happened? Where is my house? Luckily, there was one neighbor who showed Mr. Bixby the way. Mr. Bixby got quickly into his car and he started driving, looking for his family, looking for his house, and he studied every house very carefully. Eventually, he found his own house. Billy and his mother were waving from the top window, asking Billy's father to come and help them. Billy's father immediately got out from the car. He climbed over the dragon's head. He got to the porch roof and climbed into the top window. "What happened?" asked Billy's father. Billy said, "It's a dragon. There are no such things as wanted to say Billy's mother. "No, but there are dragons. They are really big," insisted Billy. And he patted the big dragon on its head again. Straight after that, the dragon started to get smaller in size, tenfold faster than it was growing earlier in the morning. And in a couple of minutes, the dragon turned into a little size of a kitten. And mother said, "Wow, I prefer dragons of that size. But why did it have to grow so fast?" she asked. Billy said, "I don't know, but maybe he just wanted to be noticed." So, what is the moral of this story? A little dragon is a problem which hasn't been attended for a long while. In this case, it's Billy's interaction with his parents. But the big dragon is some problem which is capable of lifting up your house and moving it to some unknown direction. So, do we have such dragons in our life? That's a good question. Do we prefer to get used to them and climb from one window to another to get to another room? Or are we courageous enough to approach the dragon face to face and fight it? And it's no wonder that in most mythological stories, dragons are displayed as some dangerous creatures which protect some treasure. And you have to encounter the dragon to get to the treasure. So the more you move away from the dragon, the more you move away from your treasure. So whether it's your unspoken words or some insecurities or fears, some decisions that you have to make, career choices, relationships, remember that dragons tend to grow if they're not attended. So keep an eye on your dragons and don't let them eat your pancakes. Thank you.
Well, I think I know someone who was watching Game of Thrones. Okay, so right now, Marina is the evaluator for Andrey, and she is writing him an evaluation, which we will read later. Now we are going to have our second speaker. Our second speaker is someone a little bit known in Innopolis as a singer, as an actor, as a bodybuilder. And we would like to welcome this guy, Furqan Haidar. Tell us a story about friends.
Thank you very much. So mic is not working. A friend in need is a friend indeed. It's a phrase you have heard like several times. But at how much extent you agree with this thing? If you go with the yes, then you are being a little bit selfish. And if you go with the no, then maybe you have found your friend. Yes, that's my topic that I'm going to talk. I found myself like in the early stages of finding a friendship, you're looking for comfort. You're looking for empathy. You're looking for a group in which you feel yourself comfortable. For example, I will share my experience. I remember I was 3.5 years old. I was in the kindergarten class. I was scared, frightened. At one corner of the class, it was my first day. My mother left me at the school and I was crying. A little boy, he came to me and sits with me. He opened his bag and shared his lunch with me. Then we started drawing together. We wrote some ABC and stuff like that. And after some time, I realized that I was feeling comfortable now. I was feeling good. So that was the expression of a friendship when you started looking for it. Then you grow up. Your priorities changes. I remember I went to college. At college, we had this tradition like one who taught the college will give treat to all the friends. Unfortunately, I did it. So now at night, all of my friends gathered. They came to my home. We went to a restaurant. I didn't realize, but I dropped my wallet somewhere. Now we were on the table. Food is on the table. Everyone has eaten. It's time for the check now. I put my hand in the pocket. Oh. My friend, he realized my facial expression. The thing he did, he knocked me from down the table and handed over me money. I took the money, I paid the bill, and that friend was the friend who shared his lunch with me at school. Our relationship grew. Now, this was just an example. When you grow up and you move to the professional circle, for example, you start your bachelor's degree. What I find out, like there are different blocks available in a classroom. Friendship begins from a classroom. There is a whole new world. We call themselves backbenchers. I remember When I was at university, I started my engineering. It's 2 hours long lecture and boring. So what we do, we sneak out of the class, we buy some things from the canteen, then we started eating and we are listening to the lecture. And when the professor is harsh enough that you cannot talk, what we do, we started passing notes to each other. So that was the world of the backbenchers. And then there are some people sitting in front row, like their only job is to polish the apples of the professor. You are right, you are right, you are right. And then there is a group. That is not the front, that is not the back, it lies in the middle range, and its only job is to create that disturbance. So why I divided all these things into blocks? Because there are priorities available there. The people you think they lie in your frame, the people you think you can work with them, the people you think that you can walk with them, you can talk with them. So this is a frame. It's all about you. It is the first side when you agree a friend in need is a friend indeed. Now let's move to the other side. No. Who is your friend? What you are doing with your friend? You realize if some situation happens, you realize my friend don't like it. I should stop doing it. He's getting irritated. I should stop doing it. You prioritize his priorities. You prioritize its feelings. You try to understand. You try to empathize your friend. And this is how a selfless relation is developed. Yes, relationship based on true friendship. If you are good friends, you have a good relationship. And life moves on. When I was a kid, my father used to tell me, you shake hands with a lot of people, but not every one of them is your friend. Yeah, I agree with this thing. Like when I was coming here, I met 2 or 3 people. I talk to them. I drink tea with them. We can have a good conversation. But calling them my friends, it's not justice, I think. They are all gentle people, gentlemen, gentlewomen. But friendship is something else. It's much more than a relation. It's kind of a feeling. And conclusively, I would like to conclude my speech with that. Since this is the strong month, the month of the woman, when you open your eyes first time in this world, you see the face that is most loyal and most responsible to you, and that face is your mother. So guys, respect your mothers, respect the woman, because she is your best friend. Thank you very much.
Wow. You know, all of that speaking about food made me really hungry. I hope you, Andrey, write some beautiful feedback for Furqan. Now, to our third speaker. Our third speaker has some interesting story that we can all relate to, which the speech is about one-sided love. Please welcome Awais. Stage is yours.
Hello everybody. My name is Awais, not Awais. People mispronounce this every time they call my name, but no hurt feelings. So my topic is very related to whatever Andrey said and whatever he said. Right now I'm feeling some kind of nervous because they set the standard very high. But I will try to convey what I've written like 2 hours ago, and I've improvised something as well. So the topic that I'm going to discuss today is already stated by Camille. It's one-sided love. I think all of us has loved someone in our lives. And I will consider this love as dragon of our life. I think dragons exist. And also, I think love cannot be felt. I'm going wrong side. Can love be felt or not? How do you define love? Love is not like when you're sharing your cookie with your friends. It's not the cookie, it's the passion which you have inside. And I'm just making these things up because I want to tell you about a story. The story is about one-sided love. It is when I was 15 years old, we all were in that stage of life that we just get to know about the other gender, which is female. And for female, they get to know about the other gender, which is male. I don't mean to. So, the point I wanted to make here is I lived in a society or in a culture where female and males are two separate genders and then they don't mix with each other. I come from Pakistan. So I remember when I was 15 years old, when I was 15 years old, my mom took me to one of my uncles. I have like 17 uncles or 18. We are a lot. I've never been to his house before. So when I've been there, I saw my cousin. She brought us some cookies. In Pakistan, it's legal to marry cousins, just for your information. And in our religion, it's allowed to marry cousins. So this is a different culture. So I remember when I have seen her for the first time, I was determined that she will be my wife. We Pakistani guys, we don't think about girlfriend or other thing. We go for making them our special, like the strong relationship, I would say that. So I've been there, I haven't said anything to that girl because I was a 15 years old shy guy who has never spoken to girls, even to my cousins. And my sister was so young, we used to play WWE with her. Like, you know what's WWE? Everybody knows it. So we used to play WWE with her. So when I came back, I started praying because I'm a shy person. I can't go to my parents and tell them, parents, father, I want to marry this girl. He'll say, fuck off, man. sorry, no bad language. So I started praying out of nowhere. My father noticed it. And fathers are fathers. You came from them. They know everything about you. He came to me with a smiling face and a very straight tone. He said, hey, I know what you're doing there. I've been there. I said, what are you talking about? And he said, I know you went to that girl's house and you want something. And I was shy. I said, no, I don't want it. I resisted that fact for like 7 years. That I don't want to marry that girl. But after 7 years, she has 2 kids. I'm so happy for her. But what can I do for her? The point comes here. That's one-sided love. I loved her. She's happily married. What can I do? I can wish her the best. At this point, I want to mention a very famous quote. This person who wrote this quote, he is a very famous person of Innopolis. He wrote 9 books. In his book, 69 Shades of Grey, Parth Kalkar, he wrote that love is like a butterfly. If you act like a cat, start to chase that butterfly, you will never get it. You have to be the flower who will give her his juice, its juice. Okay? It's juice, the point is. So the point I want to make here is there is no two-sided love. There is only one-sided love. The two-sided love comes, there are expectations. And when you get expectations, it breaks your heart. My heart has been broken for like 2 million times. It's okay, I don't care. It's life. But what this thing has taught me, to know to expect, to give your heart out, and to start feeling well. And I think that's my speech. Thanks for listening.
Well, I think now we learned that we have a writer between our audience. Nice to have you, man. Alright, so our prepared speeches are over. And I hope Ozzy you write good feedback for OS. And now we will start inviting our evaluators to give us their public feedback about the speeches. Our first speech was by Andrey, Dragons Exist, and now we'll have our first evaluator. Marina, come please.
Okay, hello guys. So let me introduce myself. My name is Marina. I am third year student at E-Track, and I'm going to evaluate Andrey. So I have a public feedback part. So the main question was, what was the main insight that I get after the speech? So personally, I think the most important point from the speech was that if you're courageous and brave enough to face and fight problems that are kind of dragons, then you definitely get the treasure. And this treasure may be anything like some achievement or like it can be something materialistic or something more spiritual, or it may be even the experience of fighting and experience of facing the problem. So yeah, this is it. The second question is about the goal of the speech and whether it was accomplished. So the goal of the speech, by the way, was clearly stated, like it was to share the story, share this tale, and decode the moral of this story. So I'm definitely sure that the whole story, the whole picture was described in a lot of details, and the moral was of course derived and clearly explained. So the third question, when was the peak of the speech? So like to my mind, the speech was developing kind of smoothly, and it was like moderately, it was moving to some sort of like conclusion, and that's why I suppose that the peak was exactly at the end, when the moral was explained and the motivation, not only the moral but motivation, some sort of a call for listeners was given. So the best part or some best characteristics of the speech that I personally liked is that it was simple and clear. So like sentences were exactly of the length that you kind of able to perceive without like no distractions or no complicated words or oh my god, when was the beginning of the sentence? No, it was simple and clear. Also, I would like to notice that there were changes in intonation, there were like calm voice, and everything was like very pleasant to hear it. And of course, the main thing that I would like to point out is that there was a call for like not only the story, not only like the meaning behind it, but also a call for action. Like not only like okay, I will share the story, they will listen, they will like maybe even be surprised how like deep this story, how interesting it is, but also like a small instruction what to do, like be brave, like challenge yourself, and eventually you will be able to like achieve anything you want. So of course there is like some room for improvement, and personally I think that some I suppose for such speeches where you have like a story and where you need to rephrase, when you need to uh, retell the story, it's very hard to reduce the size and to uh, reject some details and to include some most important parts. And I suppose in our case, it could be reduced a bit even more, just to leave more more interesting parts, or to add some jokes, or just to increase some engagement, or yeah. So this is basically it, and I really enjoyed the speech, the tale. So thank you very much.
You should give the paper to Andrey, so he can read it.
But I didn't finish.
Okay, so our second speaker was Furqan, and we have a speech about friends. We'll have his evaluator, Andrey. Please give him a clap.
So we all know that when Furqan is on the stage, we can expect something qualitative. So it's really hard to assess Furqan. So I'm not going to go according to the plan. So I'll just highlight the main bits. So I think the goal of the story was to share personal testimony and personal view on friendship, and share some personal stories from life. And maybe there was a second goal, which included something like claiming your own position towards seeing friendship. Like maybe Furqan wanted to claim not only how he sees friendship, but also how he sees himself as a friend also, maybe. So coming back to your best bits, like body language is amazing, so relaxed, the speech is very clean, like no words, no excessive and irrelevant words, just pure content, and it's really hard to achieve. And I like the voice. It's a pleasure to listen to your voice. And once you started, I was expecting some comedy element, because I'm so used to you as a comedy man, and there were some bits, and they actually made the speech even more richer. And one other thing, and it's related to the insight I got from the speech. Maybe it's not related to the topic of Furqan's speech, but you have to be really talented to speak about obvious things, or things that we take for granted, like friendship. Okay, most of the people know what friendship should look like, but to fill the speech with some personal stories which are so relevant, and which can display and open up the topic of the content. Like, I'm a big fan of football, but I cannot speak more than 1 minute about football. Like, it's something intrinsic talent, or I don't know. So I just mentioned it here, like talking about simple things. It's really hard. It's no joke, and Furqan does it really well. Things for improvement. It's hard to tell really, but sometimes it's probably my fault, but sometimes I was disconnected, and probably you jumped too quickly from one segment of the speech to another. Like, you had your personal story, then some piece of wisdom, then some other stuff, and I was trying to link both elements, and sometimes I struggled with it. But it's maybe personal, my own fault. I realized one of the insights I got from the speech, not from the speech, but from the whole thing, like it's really hard to concentrate when you know you have to assess someone, at the same time you rewind your own speech, you think about work stuff, so it's really hard to focus. So if you miss 5 seconds of Furqan's speech, you have to concentrate really hard to like get back to the flow. So overall, I was pretty impressed. I haven't regretted about inviting Furqan. No, really, good speech. Thank you very much. No, the peak of the speech. I really like the final words about the mother, so cool. And the quote from your father was also pretty cool. So that's it. Everything I wanted to say. Thank you.
such informative. I hope you have better speeches after this. Now, we have our third speaker, Awais. I said it right this time. Awais.
Thank you, man.
Okay, his evaluator is Ozzy. Let's welcome her, please. The stage is yours.
Hi everyone, my name is Ozzy. I will be evaluating
You can tell.
Awais. Okay, so first, the main insight that I got or I understood, the main takeaway at the end of your speech was the quote you said, like love is like a butterfly, and if you chase it, then yeah, you're never gonna get it. So yeah, that was like something that stuck. The goal of the speech, however, was unclear to me. I understood it as you were trying to express that love is one-sided, but I wasn't convinced about that from your speech. So I don't think that was accomplished, if that was the goal in the first place. Uh, for the peak of the speech, it was kind of at the end of after giving your life story example. So just before explaining the moral, it was kind of the peak for me because there was this plot twist of, okay, now she's married, like with kids. So it was like a plot twist, and that was, it was cool. For the best bits, I would say it's really brilliant that you used a personal life story to express your speech. It's usually like a very good tip always. Like when you speak from your experience, you can rarely go wrong. Second thing was you were very engaging with the audience. Like I think everyone followed you. Also, it was cool that you used analogies to pass the message across. So like first you said your life story, but then you used these analogies of like the butterfly thing. So it was cool. And yeah, it helps to pass the message across better. Also, it was, you added some comedic elements. So yeah, everyone had a good laugh from your speech. So that was also pretty brilliant. And your tone, your speech was not too loud, it was not inaudible, so I think that was cool, that was perfect. However, for some improvement, because like I said, the goal wasn't in alignment and I wasn't convinced, so just in your speech, like if the goal is clear, then just work towards convincing people, because the point of speaking is that people have to understand like a main point from what you're saying, so that has to be clear. Also, to add, and this one it's not so important, but just like to add an element of suspense, like even in your pauses and like before giving some big reveal, just to keep the audience on the edge of their seats. Yeah, that's it. But overall, it was a very brilliant speech. Thank you. I hope you will find love and have your heart mended. And yeah, so thank you. It was brilliant.
Again, thank you for informative feedback. Now, we finished our prepared speech part, and we will start our next part, which I know all of you are waiting for it and will like it. If you don't know it, we will have right now, our table topics. What are our table topics? Okay, I will invite our table topic masters, and she will tell us what is table topics and how can we participate. Let's welcome again Ozzy. Stage is yours.
Okay, hi again. So for this section, table topics, what is it? So here in my hand, I have a bunch of topics. They're random short sentences, and basically anyone here in the audience, all of you can be a part of this. So you come here and you just pick randomly a question, you read it out, and you have about 1.5 minutes to improvise. Okay, you can have a couple of seconds to prepare, but then you should improvise and answer for this question. And so it's sort of like public, it helps like your public speaking, and you can all be a part of it. So any day anyone is not able to be a prepared speaker, you can always still participate. So yeah, that's it. So anyone who wants to volunteer, you just raise your hand. I call on you, and you come. You pick a question, and then you're able to like answer it and just tell us what you think. So yeah, let's start. Who would like to go first? Okay. And let's give a round of applause. Also, please state your name before you speak.
Sure.
Okay.
You can check anyone.
Yeah, you can.
Hello everyone, my name is Sergey. I'm a freshman here, and here I would like to get my portion of cringe because sometimes it's useful. Okay, the question I've received from Ozzy was, how would an extra $1,000 a month change my life? That's an interesting question. I don't know, but have you ever noticed like there are some coincidences happen in your life when you meet to some notion or some information, and then you notice it's repeating like this day or the next day. So actually, I thought about this topic, and I was discussing it with my friends. How would extra money change our lives? And we were talking about the. By the way, what's the time I'm gonna spend?
Like
here?
about 1.5 minutes.
Wow, too few. Okay. The question was, how would extra money change our life? And my friend answered that if he was given $1 million, he would spend all of it for the charity. And like there was a company, and people asked like, why? You could buy a car, you could buy a house in Zion, and etc. And actually, I was the only person who agreed with him, because there is a principle in our life that before you get something, you should lose something, or you should give something out. And actually, if we take something, it's not for gifted. It's for something we've done our life before, or we will pay for it. So answering this question, I would say that I'm gonna refuse of this money, because the money is just the result, the payback for our efforts. And I don't think that what I've done before, costs like an extra $1,000 that falls from me just from the sky. And actually, the act of giving this money for charity is the act of giving something to this world, to sharing some energy with this world, and it means that according to the boomerang principle, it's going to return to me in some other form. So this is how I would answer this question. Thank you.
Thank you.
So should I succeed?
Yeah, thank you.
Unless you want to take other topics.
At the end, if we have more time, you can actually go again. So who would like to go next? Any volunteers?
Wow, that's a big one. Will I have more minutes for this one?
No, that's okay.
Wow. What 3 words would you use to describe the last 3 months of your life? No jokes. I would prefer this answer, but since we're here, we open our hearts and we are sincere with each other in trustworthy environment. So I would go for loneliness, apathy, and frustration. The last 3 months of my life were probably the harshest in my life, even though I smile when I talk about it. That's my approach to my dragons. So yeah, it's a difficult time, and trying to find a strategy towards solving the problems which I encounter, and I believe they will only make me stronger. And maybe if you ask me about my previous 6 months, I remember myself praying, asking for challenges in my life, because I felt like last summer was so cool. We recorded a clip with Zuhair, I recorded my tracks. I had some fun every single day. I was like laid back and just enjoyed my life. And I thought, come on, I'm 28. I haven't encountered a serious problem in my life for the last couple of years. And here we go. So the last 3 months were something I was asking for strangely. I got it, and I'm building up, I'm slaying my dragons, and I'm getting stronger. So I'll be back on track very soon. And I hope to get this question after 3 months and see how I progressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, who would like to go next?
My name is Anna. The question or the statement sounds like this. Interpret this as you understand it. All children are artists. The problem is how to remain an artist once he grows up.
Excuse me, could you repeat, please?
Yeah, all children are artists. The problem is how to remain an artist once a child grew up.
Once.
It's written here, but then I think it meant like children. Once children grow up, how to remain an artist. Like we all begin from being an artist, like being artists. So how to remain. And this statement is by Pablo Picasso, who is a great artist himself. Yeah. So I truly believe that all people can create. Whether it is art in form of writing, in form of drawing, in form of whatever, singing, anything that is a creative act, dancing. So, but once we grow, there is a lot of baggage that comes with life. We have our challenges, we have our like conflicts inside. We are afraid to be who we are, or we are just shy, as Camille said in the beginning. So our problem is that sometimes we shut down our artists, shut down our natural desire to share what is inside us in the creative form. And I think the problem is, like here it is written that the problem how to remain an artist. I don't see actually this as a problem. I mean, once you still remember that it is somewhere there inside you, this feeling that you can do whatever you want, you can share your ideas, you can share your words, you can draw, even if there is no judgment. As children, we don't expect judgment from people. We just do whatever we want, but when we grow up, there's such a pressure from the society to say, oh my God, you're bad at this, or you're afraid people will say you're bad at this, or you're just like not confident enough, and we lose this confidence in ourselves. But I think that exactly this is the problem, the confidence. I mean, everyone should have the confidence to be ourselves, because we're so unique, all of us. We're so different that there is even I don't see even the reason to compare people, things, because we're not comparable, if even this is such a word. So the problem, like, to still stay the artists as we were, stay artists as we were as children, You just need to gain this confidence as as a child back. I mean, to be yourself, to express yourself freely. It doesn't matter what. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So, anyone would like to go next? Okay.
So, last time we have arrived at all question or come is a single answer. It depends. So I started that all. It depends. So, okay. If happiness was the national currency, what kind of work would it make you rich? So it depends. If happiness was the national currency, what kind of work would make you rich? Okay, so there is a one country, as I know, they indicate as a happiness, indicate as a compare as a GDP. So this country name is Bhutan. So Bhutan always pursue its happiness to duty. Every country has pursued that how strong we are, how much grow fast we can grow. So always depend on their GDP. But this country has used the happiness index as their GDP. So that question arises that so we have need some kind of things to do to get some money, and money is happiness. So you, how can I say, that you always follow your passion that make you happy. Sometimes if you actually work some harder, cite a retirement plan, so you always say hi, it is so hard to, I always work harder to get retirement and go some beach, live life together. So if this is happiness is a currency, you first go there and see it is make you happy or not. Otherwise, what is happen that you work too hard for this happiness, but this happiness would never become. So you always you choose find different kind of path in which make you happy, and use suitable way or suitable create the suitable path which actually make you happier. So when you make you happy and you continue that path, so it will grow the happiness index as you will increase by currency or you will go more currency. So that was my pitch. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, anyone? Okay.
So everyone is picking the largest and biggest.
Kind of,
Okay. So my question is, this is one question. I tried to pick the smallest, but looks like the largest. If you were forced to eliminate every physical possession from your life, with the exception of what could fit into a single backpack, what would you put in it? Okay, that's a really interesting question. Okay, first I think I will put my passport, because now I'm living in Russia and obviously I'm not Russian. I will put then some pieces of clothes because I don't want to be naked. And I think maybe my laptop and charger and some money, maybe my credit card, like basic surviving stuff. More stuff I should put in my bag. I think I will throw in some books that I have, because I believe if I took something, I will need to do other stuff with it, and that will lead me to have another more stuff. But a book is a good friend, and it can entertain you for a long time. It can also teach you. So I will definitely grab some books with me. So all in all, I will put in this bag my passport, some clothes, my laptop, and some books. That's it. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, the question is kind of hard, I don't know. But I'll try to maybe approach it in the easiest way or the common way, I don't know. Well, like which activities make you lose track of time? Mostly, I can even answer it in in a vast way, I don't know. Like in a general way, because I can say, hey, this is the only activity I do that makes me like lose track of time with this one. But it's mostly when I'm doing something that I like, I tend to lose track of time. For example, what is the thing that I like to do? Because I'm really, like it depends, but like the only thing I can say, yeah, it depends. I can say, for example, when I'm, yeah, I mean, for example, when I'll be honest, when I'm designing something, yeah, I really lose track of time because I put too much energy in it and trying to, because I like it. I mean, it feels like I'm trying to bring many ideas around. So if I'm designing which is part of my daily activities, I lose track of time. Thank you. Yeah, I would say it. Don't worry. Wait.
Start with it depends. Start with it depends.
Actually, it depends. Why are you you? Well, I'm me because I am the sum of what I lived, and why am I me? It's well, it's for me. Don't take my time. Well, I am me because I am the things I lived first, and the people I've known, and I think the biggest part of one's life, since we are social beings, is the people that you meet and how they influence you. And more than that, you can sum this up as I am my past, all the experiences I've lived, and all the results that came from that. I am the person that I am in the present because of what I've developed in all of this time, and I guess that's it. It's pretty simple, actually.
That sounds really cool. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't see you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Most intelligent
Yeah.
What is your question?
I will read it.
Mr. That's your question. As in your country.
Oh, sorry. So my question is, do you see to believe or believe to see? It's a tongue twister. Got me.
Less than 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Let me put the timer.
It's okay.
So the question which came to me is, do you see to believe or believe to see? Well, being a believer, I would say that first I believe and then I see, because I wanted to give an example which just reversed that scientifically you see first and you listen later. So what I was about to say that in human life it's reverse order. First you listen to things and then you get the chance to see things. You are lucky if you see things first. But first, being humans, we believe it. Like when I was how much? I had a lot of examples in my life. I was 9 years old. I had a lot of chickens. So I used to love them a lot. But I have seen somewhere that the small chicken, it comes out from the egg. So I was unable to break an egg. My sister is like 6 years younger than me. So until I was 19, I was unable to break an egg. Why? Because I used to think that the chicken comes out of egg. If I broke the egg, it will hurt me and it will hurt a lot of generations of chickens. But that's what I've believed. What if I have seen it? What if I haven't trusted what somebody else? I have done it myself. So one day, I took an egg, put a big mountain on my heart, and broken an egg. What I've seen, it has changed my life. It has changed my belief that there is no chicken in the egg. There is some egg in the egg. So I would say that first you see, then you believe. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
What's the nicest thing someone has ever done for you?
Yes, please introduce yourself.
My name is Sobir, second year data science student. What's the nicest thing someone has done to me? I want to apologize to all people who has done nice things to me, because right now I don't remember it. The latest thing I remember, someone has done something nice to somebody else. I was listening to a podcast. A man in Microsoft had taken some position. He was a beginner, and he was trying to figure out what's the structure of the project. He was approaching many people, asking them, but they were not very interested. They were like, most of the time they gave vague answers, they ignored him. And so this man is saying, then my project manager approached me and he has done something really important that I feel grateful for the rest of my life. So what his project manager did to him was, first, he takes him to he takes him coffee, they sit around the table, and he tells him, he has observed him going to people, taking notes, sitting in meetings, during the meetings, writing notes, and being very passive. And he tells him, do you take notes or you act? Then the guy speaks about his struggles. Then project manager says, well, if you are trying to figure out something and people are not responding, people are not being cooperative, make up something fake, not the structure that you are trying to grasp, to the structure you are trying to document. Write a draft which is, it is fake, but when you show it to people, when you announce it as an official thing, when you say this is the design, this is the this is the parts, this is the blueprint, and you will see everyone start to object. Everyone start to point out, no, you are wrong, no, this part should be that way, and everyone will start to interact with you, and they will correct you. So this was the advice given to him, and it really related to me, and so in a way, this was something, a nice thing that the guy in the podcast did to me, is that I've also felt it many times that I almost always I am passive, but I'm active when I'm good at criticizing when someone does something. So it's good for the people like me, probably a lot of people here, is to have somebody on the other side who does something which is not good, which is not perfect, but you're not doing it. But after you see, you start to criticize, you start to engage, and you start to make it perfect. And so the lesson I got from here was that I have to find people which are the opposite of me. If I'm being perfectionist, if I'm being like trying to find everything ideally, but sit in a place and not do anything, so the opposite person I should find should be someone who is kind of working naively and making things which are not correct, which makes me engage in it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you all for participating. That was lovely.
Thank you, Ozzy, for such interesting table topics. Now, we reach our end of this meeting. We had all of our interesting speeches. We had evaluators telling us how to become better speakers, and we all participated together in table topics. And I'm so happy we finally launched this club. And I'm excited to see everyone here today and looking forward for next meeting where any of you can try to take part as speakers or evaluators or as hosts. And until then, let's remember our, what's it called? Like slogan. Okay. So, dog? Space. Dog? Space. Thank you, everyone.
Everyone, you can enjoy sweets. The most important part.